Some stories are not meant to be told. They are meant to be understood.
This structure cost an estimated $15 billion, firmly placing it among the most expensive buildings ever constructed in the entire history of human architecture. It stands directly beside the holiest place on Earth, impossible to overlook, commanding attention through its overwhelming scale, height, and constant visual dominance. Its massive presence permanently reshaped Mecca's skyline, fundamentally altering the city's visual identity for generations that will follow. From the very beginning, this ambitious project was never intended to exist merely as a single standalone tower. Instead, it was envisioned as an entire vertical city, carefully stacked floor by floor, rising high into the sky. Every aspect of this structure was built specifically to serve millions of pilgrims who arrive in Mecca every single year. However, the sacred land surrounding Mecca could never expand outward due to deep religious significance and strict historical limitations. Engineers were ultimately left with only one viable solution remaining: to build upward into the sky. Before this enormous tower stood here, layers of important history once occupied this very same ground. That history was permanently erased, sacrificed to make space for a radically different future. Construction officially began in the year 2004, marking a dramatic transformation for the Holy City. It quickly became one of the most complex, demanding, and challenging construction projects ever undertaken on Earth. Building at this sacred and sensitive location allowed absolutely zero margin for structural or engineering failure. Massive foundations were driven extremely deep into the valley floor to support the unimaginable weight above. 7 massive towers were carefully planned from the beginning to rise together as one unified architectural complex. Yet one central tower was intentionally designed to dominate all others in height, scale, and symbolic presence. Thousands of workers labored relentlessly over many years to slowly shape the massive structure. They worked daily under extreme desert heat, intense sunlight, and harsh environmental conditions. The tower ultimately rose more than 600 meters into the sky above the city of Mecca. This achievement placed the structure among the tallest buildings humanity has ever successfully constructed. Every single element was meticulously engineered to safely support millions of occupants simultaneously without failure. Years of intense construction effort seemed to pass in what felt like mere seconds. Eventually, the city witnessed this monumental project finally reach its long-awaited completion. Yet one important question still remained unanswered in the minds of many observers. Where exactly did $15 billion ultimately go within this massive project? Into a fully functioning city, stacked vertically, floor by floor, contained within a single structure. Into deep reinforced foundations designed to carry unimaginable weight continuously without collapse. Into a massive steel spine holding the entire complex together under constant structural stress. Into luxury hotels capable of comfortably housing tens of thousands of guests at once, offering panoramic views that very few humans will ever experience during their lifetime. Into prayer spaces carefully integrated directly within the towering structure itself. Into an entire commercial district operating entirely inside one massive building. Into advanced cooling systems required to sustain a vertical city within harsh desert conditions. Into safety systems designed specifically to manage millions of people without catastrophic failure. And into one of the largest and most complex clock systems ever constructed by humanity. A powerful symbol that remains visible across vast distances surrounding the Holy City. The clock itself is significantly larger than London's iconic Big Ben in sheer scale. Each massive clock hand alone weighs several tons in total weight. At night, the illuminated clock can be seen clearly from over 25 kilometers away. Inside the structure, luxury rises to an entirely different level of scale and exclusivity. Entire floors remain reserved exclusively for royalty and elite guests, offering views that only a very small number of humans will ever witness. However, not everyone welcomed this ambitious project with celebration or approval. Historic sites were removed, destroyed, and lost forever during construction. Some critics argue that the structure visually overwhelms the sacred city itself. Others believe such massive development was unavoidable and historically inevitable. It now defines a completely new era of modern pilgrimage for millions worldwide. So the question remains, was the enormous cost truly justified? Every single year, millions of pilgrims continue arriving at this sacred place. One single structure now serves humanity at an unprecedented scale. This is not merely a tower rising upward into the sky. Even prayer spaces themselves now rise vertically within the structure. The building was engineered to withstand earthquakes, extreme heat, and environmental stress. Maintaining it requires non-stop monitoring and highly specialized technical teams. It has permanently changed Mecca's skyline for generations to come, admired by some, yet heavily criticized by others across the world. Still, the act of faith itself remains completely unchanged. This structure represents human ambition expressed at a near-divine scale. $15 billion ultimately shaped this monumental vision into reality. Was it worth the cost, or was it simply inevitable?
Stories end, but curiosity shouldn't.